Hello, and welcome to Knowing the Narcissist, a series of videos that will grant you unrivaled access into the world of the narcissist delivered in a straightforward and accessible manner. I am H.G. Tudor, and I am a narcissist. For reasons which are already apparent to those of you who have engaged with me beforehand, and that will be explained in future videos, I am engaged in a process of sharing information about what I am, interacting with those who are interested, fascinated, or even repulsed by my kind, and enabling you to gain understanding of our kind, for your own purposes, whatever those purposes may be. I will embrace many topics about my kind. Some of it may be uncomfortable to hear, but then the best medicine often tastes the foulest. I will be to the point and convey my knowledge and behaviours in a straightforward manner. I am not a man of science, so you won't find convoluted scientific terms here, only useful and understandable observations and explanations. I know you will have a lot of questions, such as, who am I? Why am I doing this? How is it that I am aware of what I am? Plus hundreds of other questions besides. I will endeavour to answer your questions through these videos. I will also speak about topics which are central to providing you with understanding. Since I am a dark-hearted practitioner of narcissism, I am in a unique position to share with you the way I think, the way I behave, and why I do it. You will no doubt be familiar with the narcissistic cycle of seduction, devaluation, discard, and hoovering. I will address many facets of this cycle. I will explain to you why so much makes no sense at all to you, but is perfectly natural to my kind and me. I will talk to you about the different types of our brethren, the different ways we operate, why we choose our victims, and what you can do to counter our manipulative behaviour and protect yourself. I have also written numerous books which will provide you with additional invaluable information and understanding, and they are all available on Amazon. There is much to convey to you, but I am also open to you asking me questions, which I will be delighted to answer. I may frame a topic around something you raise, or I shall do a series of questions and answers. There are so many subjects to embrace when dealing with such a curiously fascinating creature as me, but today I have decided that I will start with discussing the question of my lifeblood, fuel. Fuel, or as some call it, narcissistic supply, is the essence of what powers our kind. It is our raison d'etre, the very thing that drives us in everything that we do. The lesser of our kind do not realise this. They only know that they crave attention and reactions, but they do not realise why. The mid-range of our kind understand that there is a reason for this repeated need to be admired or feared, but they only understand that it's something that just happens to them. They receive a compliment, it makes them feel good, and they feel better than the other people stood nearby. The greater of our kind know that this is the very essence of our being, that fuel is what drives us, it is what powers us, and without that fuel we weaken and then become susceptible to being consigned to oblivion. The very being that we want the world to know us as becomes at risk of vanishing if we do not receive enough fuel. So, what is fuel? Fuel, by its simplest definition, is an emotional reaction. It might be the shine in someone's eyes as we walk past them, a compliment about our jacket that is accompanied with a particular tone of appreciation, or a gentle hand placed on our shoulder, which conveys to us affection. It may be someone telling us well done, for the work that we have done that week. It may be a round of applause after we have given a speech, somebody posting a like on a Facebook comment, or someone holding us and telling us that they love us. All of those are examples of positive fuel: love, appreciation, joy, happiness, elation, praise, adoration, and so forth. Any and all of those, when directed towards us, provides us with positive fuel. Whether it comes from a stranger on the internet, a colleague, a neighbour, or the person who shares our bed, it is all fuel and we want it. The potency of this fuel varies by reference to who is delivering it and the type of fuel. There is an index of fuel potency, which results in certain combinations of fuel powering us more effectively than others. An admiring glance from a stranger on a train is readily superseded by a well done from our boss at work, which is then less potent than our intimate partner saying, "I love you." Fuel is not only positive, it comes in negative forms. When you shout insults at me, you are giving me fuel. If I was to do that to you, you would most likely find it hurtful and upsetting, but to me it is fuel. I may feign upset in order to then extract sympathy from you. Our kind are happy to take both negative and positive fuel from people, often from moment to moment, but that upset that we feign is only a method of provoking the provision of fuel by you. If you become frustrated, raging, tearful, or fearful, these are all forms of negative fuel. This is why we manipulate you so that you lose your temper, apply our manipulations against you in order to make you cry. It's why we stand over you and intimidate you in order to make you frightened. It all provides us with negative fuel. Just like its positive cousin, the potency of negative fuel is affected by who is delivering it and the method of delivery. A neighbour expressing his frustrations about our failure to cut back the hedge is not as effective as seeing our intimate partner crying in a corner, but both of these provide us with negative fuel. Of the two, negative fuel is preferred because overall it is more powerful. The reason for this is straightforward. It is easier to cause someone to provide a positive reaction because people like to be pleasant. It is more difficult to generate a negative reaction from someone, and to do so especially from the type of people we like to choose as our victims, empathic people. People as a whole, and particularly empathic people, like to see the good in everyone. They will do their best to be understanding, tolerant, and sympathetic. They are less likely to provide a knee-jerk reaction, and as a consequence, when we are able to cause a negative emotional response from someone, especially an empathic, intimate partner, then the negative fuel which arises is of a greater strength. We gather fuel as often as we can. From the moment I wake up, I am searching for fuel. It might come from the person lying next to me who is cuddling me. It may come from the waiting messages on my phone, from a network of individuals who I cultivate for their fuel provision and harvest at regular intervals throughout the course of the day. I may, on the journey into work, deliberately cut somebody up in my car so that they gesticulate at me in an aggressive and angry manner. I may work especially hard so that the presentation I give receives applause and plaudits. I will take fuel from all quarters. We prefer to have a primary source of fuel, one person who provides us with the highest quality fuel regularly and in copious amounts. The role of primary source of fuel is usually, although there may be exceptions, allocated to the person who we have chosen as our intimate partner. Their proximity to us, in terms of emotional connection and physical presence, means that this person is relied on to deliver fuel repeatedly. Our need for fuel, however, does not just stop there. We need supplementary sources, which comprise of secondary sources such as family, friends and colleagues, and tertiary sources, namely strangers, remote strangers, and minions. Accordingly, a smile from the lady who served me my coffee provides me with fuel from a tertiary source, and an irate reaction from my brother when I tell him that I am cancelling dinner provides me with fuel from a secondary source. Consider how many people you interact with during the course of a normal day. By interact with, I mean those people that you meet, see, sit next to, walk past, talk to in person, message, speak on the telephone, send emails, and so on. Add all of those people up, and then consider how much of your interaction contains emotional responses. Smiles, thanks, apologies, warnings, irritation, and so forth. Begins to add up, doesn't it? Now consider how someone like me, someone who needs fuel, conducts his day. Not only will I look to interact with all who cross my path, I will also seek out people through various methods of contact. This is why technology plays such a huge part in the life of the narcissist. Because through technology we are able to conduct our campaigns and gather fuel from scores, if not hundreds, of fuel lines. I will be discussing the narcissist's use of technology in the future. Not only do I aim to increase my level of interaction, I am also seeking to provoke an emotional reaction from everyone that I interact with. Otherwise, what is the point of having that interaction? I want you to praise me. I want you to smile at me. I want you to tell me that you love me. I want you to become frustrated and upset. Of course, as a greater member of my brethren, I ensure I conduct myself in a way that provides the greatest return, so those who are in my facade of admirers, friends and colleagues, for example, will usually be provoked to provide me with positive fuel rather than negative. The intimate partner, however, as my primary source, is the main provider, and that is why our interactions with this person are so intense. We love you like nobody has loved you before, so that the response you give is similarly intense and drenched in positive fuel. When we devalue you, we do so with a ferocity that provokes a heightened emotional reaction from you, and thus the better fuel is provided. Fuel is crucial to our existence, and I will be explaining why this is the case on another occasion. But you should understand that all our behaviours, what we say, what we do, who we do it with, our schemes, our plans, our machinations, and our manipulations are all designed to provide us with fuel. This is why we are wonderful 1 minute, then horrible the next. This is why we show off at a party. This is why we fish for compliments. This is why we seem to be at war with the world. And this is why we are so argumentative. We want fuel. We need fuel. And each and every day, we will look to harvest it from you, from him, from her, and from them. It is key to your understanding of who we are and what we do for you to always know that fuel is the rule. Thank you for listening.